and we grow up and we communicate with others, what happens is we communicate with how we've learned from the past, right? So when I started my network marketing business, I don't think that my communication skills were as strong as they could have been. And what I want to talk to you about today are two different lessons I've learned. One is the lesson where you are trying to reach out to somebody in your organization that you may have sponsored it or you may not even know. And yet you don't have the confidence to do it, and so you do nothing. Or when you communicate with somebody and you think you said something, but they're hearing something totally different. Now, when you say something to somebody, you may have a choice in how you communicate. But I'll tell you something that I think is really important, and it's one of the biggest lessons I've learned, is that the person who's hearing also has a choice on how they want to make that mean. So I learned over the last couple years that I can say exactly what I need to say and be heard. I can be confident, and yet I can be lovable at the same time. I can ask for what I want and still come from a place of kindness. That's my responsibility. But it's also my responsibility when somebody says something to me to choose how I want to make that mean. So let's talk about commuting down into our organization. When I was a premier in my organization, which was one of the lower ranks, my diamond upline, who I didn't know, who didn't sponsor me, who was actually 9 levels above me, reached down to me and sent me the most beautiful, heartfelt email telling me how amazing I was. I had done what most people sometimes take a year to do in only 1 month. And he sent me a beautiful email and he inspired me. And I had no idea what a diamond was, but it sounded really important. And it made me feel really special. And he inspired me to attend my own company's leadership conference a couple months later, where I knew no one at all. I sat in the back of the room of 1,500 people at that time, but I was inspired to go, and you know what? That conference changed my life. That man changed my life. And that man passed away this past summer, but I will never, ever forget the kind words that he used with me in just that email. Now, that is why taprooting matters. So I did have a wonderful upline who did enroll me, and she felt as new, however, as I did in the business. And although I am so grateful for her introduction to my business, she didn't offer me a ton of support. She didn't know how to at the time. She didn't think I needed her. Not her fault. But what I'm trying to say to you guys is that we all need support, and we all want to feel supported. So while Jordan talked about tethering a little while ago, which is super important, remember in the beginning there are people who need you, and there are people who want to feel your love. And if you're not confident enough to lovingly reach out to them and hold their hand for a little bit in the beginning and show them the way, then you're doing yourself and them a big disservice. You might have amazing people underneath of you, and because you're not confident enough yet to reach down, you're walking away from an opportunity for all. So remember that taprooting, which is communication, actually matters.